Well, good Friday afternoon. It is Good Friday here in Indiana. Currently 5:09 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Have our first severe thunderstorm warning of the afternoon. We are going live for this one as we have a tornado possible tag on this storm, and this is for the Lafayette area as well as the Williamsport, Indiana, and West Central Indiana. This severe thunderstorm warning as for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail, as well as a possible tornado. This is the low top supercell that we have here in West Central Indiana. The storm was located near Otterbein, moving east at 20 miles per hour. This is radar indicated. Hail damage to vehicles is expected, and expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees in the core of this storm. Locations impacted include Lafayette, West Lafayette, Shadeland, Battleground, Pine Village, and Purdue University. This is until 5:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. 5:06 p.m. A severe thunderstorm was located near Otterbein, moving east at 20 miles per hour. Tornado possible, radar indicated. So there's some broad rotation within the storm. You can actually see kind of a little bit of a hook echo right in here on the southwest side of Lafayette, due west of Lafayette, about 10 to 15 miles west of town. Moving near Green Hill is kind of where that is. The storm did look a little bit more impressive a few minutes ago than what it does currently. As I hit play here, you can kind of see the evolution of that. Kind of some broad rotation right in here, just near the Green Hill area in west central Indiana. This storm is going to move. Right now, it's tracking to miss downtown Lafayette. It is looking to go on the northwest side of town, but it is moving north and east. Currently, forward motion, not overly fast. Looks like only moving east at about 20 miles per hour. It is moving kind of northeast at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Currently, we have a warm front draped across central Indiana, sitting right about in here. The storm is currently on the warm front. Storms that develop on this warm front have the best potential to be strong to severe over the next couple of hours or so. Kind of a low end all hazards risk does exist. Damaging winds and hail are the primary risk. Widespread severe weather is not expected here tonight, but you can see that couplet right in here on your radar, right near the Green Hill area. You can see that inflow notch here, isolated supercell here, west central Indiana, moving northeast, east northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Broad rotation, nothing that really screams an imminent tornado at this point in time or anything like that, but we do have some broad rotation within the core, within the updraft of the storm, which is termed a mesocyclone. We get those rotating updrafts to spin a little bit, and sometimes that rotation can come down to the ground. Cloud bases are pretty low here today, so a spin up tornado can't entirely be ruled out. But we do think they'll be brief in nature if any tornado does touch down. We don't expect any long track tornadoes here today in Indiana. We don't have quite the setup for it, but we could have a brief spin up, not out of the question. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but can't entirely be ruled out. This is not a very large storm, really a small storm, really only a few miles wide. But we do have that broad area of rotation sitting right in here near Green Hill. You can see your hook echo there, inflow notch with your area of rotation sitting just on the north side of Green Hill where those reds and greens are touching a little bit south of State Road 26. This is going to, right now, it's going to track on the west side of Lafayette. It looks like it's going to miss downtown and go perhaps just on the northwest side of town, coming up to the US 52 corridor here is kind of where this storm is tracking. Currently, Lafayette is in a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warning on it yet. We don't quite have rotation near the criteria for a tornado warning, but there is some broad rotation in it, which is why the National Weather Service, this is kind of a special severe thunderstorm warning where the tornado possible tag is included in it, but the rotation is just not quite strong enough for a individual tornado warning to be included yet. But that may change. We'll have to watch this. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but the rotation is there and it is worth mentioning there as well. So right now, the biggest thing with this storm is going to be heavy rain, some small hail, and gusty winds. But we do have some broad rotation. As you can see, the National Weather Service is on rapid scan here. Rotation picking up just a little bit. They're due east of Green Hill, kind of right on Green Hill, if not just outside of town. Currently crossing county lines here as it moves towards the Montmorency areas, or just south of Montmorency, right along south of State Road 26. Here's Green Hill, area of rotation coming up on North 1200 East West County Line Road, just to the west of Lafayette. right where you see those colors holding hands right in here. You can see your inflow notch right in there. So not a very big storm, but you can see that updraft sitting right in there just to the west of Lafayette. And this does look to track about like this. Going to come pretty close to the battleground area, between Battleground, Ash Grove, perhaps. I don't think this is going to track due east towards the airport. It is, I think, going to go just to the northwest of Lafayette. Um, you can kind of see that on tracker there, kind of go to the northwest side of town. So we'll keep an eye on this here. Rotation did tighten up just a little bit, not extremely tight to really make me concerned that there would be a tornado on the ground or anything like that. But it is tight enough to where the National Weather Service in Indianapolis did include that tornado possible tag on this warning here, just because the storm is exhibiting some signs of broad rotation. So it is worth keeping an eye on as it moves towards the Lafayette area here. This severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for another 30 minutes here. 16-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. You can see that couplet just to the northeast of Green Hill. This is moving east-northeast at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Not a fast-moving storm either. Yeah, Jar, currently it's moving kind of east-northeast is the best way to put it. Not true east, but not true northeast either, kind of in between. I'm going to come pretty close to the battleground area. I think it's going to split Lafayette and battleground based on its current trajectory. It could turn more to the right, or it could also turn more to the north. We're going to have to watch this here. It is right on the warm front, so it could make a right turn. We'll just have to keep an eye on it here over the next couple of minutes or so. Currently no tornado warning in effect, but we do have that broad area of rotation, which is worth keeping an eye on, just to the west of Lafayette. The storm is currently moving off to the north and northeast at 20 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a possible tornado. Zooming out here, there's only a severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana at this time. There's a few isolated showers around the area tonight, but they're not a lot of lightning in them. Really, in any of these storms, not producing a lot of lightning. They're shallow in nature. So, but we'll have to watch any additional storms that do fire. The greatest risk for a strong thunderstorm here this evening, if I draw an arrow here, kind of right in this zone, right in here, and north. So this white line here draped across our screen, this is our warm front, which is currently advecting north across northern Indiana. We're going to see some storms fire along that. We do have a tornado warning in the Bloomington, Illinois area for some broad rotation exhibited earlier. I think this one's going to expire, though, here in a few minutes. So this warm front is going to be moving north throughout the evening here tonight. We could see additional showers and storms fire in this vicinity here. We have a flood watch in effect up near the Fort Wayne area for some heavy thunderstorms, which may develop later this evening, overnight tonight as well. So a couple things to keep an eye on as the evening progresses. Widespread severe weather, I don't expect it, but we could have kind of a low-end risk for a spin-up tornado, damaging winds, and perhaps hail up to quarter size. I don't think hail is a big risk here tonight. A lot of these storms are shallow in nature, meaning the cloud tops aren't super high. But any of these storms along the warm fronts can have some veering associated with it in the lower wind fields. And you can see how a couple of these showers, we'll call them showers. There's not really a lot of lightning associated with them, but you can see kind of some broad areas of rotation within here. So a brief spin-up tornado can't be ruled out, even a little hook echo here on these little showers. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these. But we could also can't rule out a land spout either. Kind of have a decent environment for even a land spout to occur, if not a tornado, on some of these developing showers. Sometimes the air is stretched as these storms are growing cumulus clouds continue to grow. Sometimes the air is stretched underneath of them, and these warm fronts act as a surface boundary, and you can get some low-level spin, even if the storm itself is not rotating. Sometimes you can get some low-level spin to be stretched, and you can get a land spout to form. Not ruled out either, so gonna have to keep an eye for those. We don't get land spout all too often here in Indiana, but can't rule one out and underneath one of these growing cumulus clouds. Currently, our only Severe thunderstorm warning is for the Lafayette area. Tornado possible, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Broad area of rotation just due west of Lafayette, south of State Road 26, where there's greens and reds are holding hands. I'll go ahead and circle it for you to pinpoint it a little bit better for you, kind of sitting right in here. Not overly tight, but it is tight enough to where the National Weather Service mentioned it in the severe thunderstorm warning. This is kind of a special severe thunderstorm warning where the rotation is not tight enough to have its own tornado warning, but it is there to where it is included in the severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail, as well as a possible tornado. That broad rotation is noted on radar. You can see the greens and reds holding hands just due west of Lafayette, but I don't see any signs of a kind of an immediate tornado at this point in time, but a brief spin up can't be ruled out if that were to tighten up. I do have a couple chasers in the field are looking at this storm. Currently, doesn't appear to be any funnel clouds or even a wall cloud associated with it, just kind of a low base, which is some good news. If that rotation were to tighten up, we would see a wall cloud develop and then maybe a funnel cloud thereof. So currently, our contact in Lafayette is not reporting any wall cloud or a funnel cloud with this at this time, but there is a low base associated with it. So we're going to have to keep an eye on this here. You can see that area of rotation going to come pretty close to the northwest side of Lafayette, kind of riding right along State Road 26 towards the Apple Ridge area, as well as Purdue University as well. Also potentially impacted by this thunderstorm as well. So college kids, be ready to go back in your dorms if this were to intensify. Currently, this is moving east at about 20 miles per hour. Do I have the date wrong on this stream? Let me go and search it. I actually have the date updated on my end as 4/3/2026. So if it shows up as the second, I apologize about that. Let me click on a couple of things here to see if maybe I didn't update a date. Oh, you know what? In the description. You're right. Thank you for that. Let me get that updated here. I will save that. We had this live stream ready to go yesterday in case we had something more significant or considerable, and we're reusing it here for today. So I apologize about that. The date should be updated there in the description for you. We got that updated as the 3rd. I missed that one. Good eye. Currently, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana. Now, solely due west of Lafayette, you can see that rotation still hanging on there. Still a little broad in nature, but it is still there. It is worth keeping an eye on. This is going to come to the northwest side of Lafayette. Currently, no tornado imminent at this point in time, but that rotation is there and it could intensify. So we're going to have to keep an eye on it as this storm is riding right along the warm front. Warm fronts can stretch some vorticity at the surface. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that. Hopefully it doesn't, but we're going to have to keep an eye on it here as the storm is, as I mentioned before, it could take a right turn. It is kind of taking a more of a right turn a little bit as it latches onto that warm front. So the area of rotation sitting right in here, just south of State Road 26, going to come right in here. It is, I think, going to come a little bit closer to Lafayette than what I was thinking a few minutes ago, as it is kind of making that right turn just a little bit. But the good news is, look at the latest scan. That rotation has broadened out quite a bit. It's still a little bit there, kind of right in here, perhaps. But it is quite broad in nature, which is some good news. But could still have some small hail and some gusty winds within the core of the storm as well. It is going to come just on the northwest side of Lafayette, right along and south of State Road 26 towards US 52. The area that could see some small hail right in here where you see the pink in the core. Not a very big core in this storm. This is a very small storm. This is not a very large storm, only moving east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. But right where you see the pink here could have some small hail. The warning has up to quarters. I think there may be a few quarters mixing down, but I don't think it's going to be widespread quarter size hail, at least what I see on some other data here behind the scenes. It looks to be maybe a little bit smaller than quarter, but we're going to have to keep an eye on that. There they trimmed the warning back, still keeping that tornado possible tag. This is for northern Tippecanoe County, and the storm is solely in Tippecanoe County right now, but in the northwest part of the county. So if you're in southern Tippecanoe County, you're okay for right now. This storm is solely in the northwest part of the county. Have to keep an eye on this here to make sure it does not intensify, but it is right on that warm front there. You can see this storm is kind of moving from left to right a little bit as that warm front advex northward. There is some broad rotation associated within this storm. Due west of Lafayette, sitting right in here. Currently not overly strong. I don't think a tornado is imminent at this point in time, but it is worth noting the National Weather Service has a tornado possible tag within this severe thunderstorm warning as well. Quarter-size hail and wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. We'll read the updated warning here. They did trim it back. Still moving northeast at 20 miles per hour, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roof siding and trees. Locations impacted include Lafayette, West Lafayette, Shadeland, Battleground, Purdue University. This includes Interstate 65 between mile markers 171, 184. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into a basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. Put as many layers between you and the outside as possible. If you do spot a tornado or a funnel cloud, the storm is currently moving east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Some broad rotation associated with it. You can see Indianapolis looks like they're on rapid scan here, so we're getting scans pretty quickly here. They're keeping an eye on this storm for us as well, which is great to see. Even a little bit of rotation, perhaps even near the Florida area as well. A little low top shower there. We'll call them showers, like rotating showers. There's not a lot of lightning. There's a couple lightning strikes in this cell here. As this one's a little bit more mature, a little bit taller, getting in them some cooler air aloft. But a lot of these don't have any lightning associated with them as well. Another heavy downpour in Rush County here. Currently not severe, maybe some gusty winds, heavy downpour. A lot of these showers will be capable of heavy rainfall rates up to 1 to 2 inches per hour in the core of these storms. A lot of moisture to work with out there. Dew points are in the upper 60s across this portion of Indiana, so we have a lot of moisture to work with here today for these storms to tap into. So heavy rainfall, definitely not out of the question within these storms. So we'll keep an eye on this storm here. I do think it's kind of cycling, perhaps maybe a little bit, trying to reorganize a little bit. It's not very large. It's very small in size, only a few miles across. The core itself is maybe about a mile wide, at a mile to a mile and a half wide. So it's a very small storm between the updraft and the core. Your updraft is sitting right in here on the south side of the storm, right where your mesocyclone is, that broad area of rotation. That's your updraft. And then your core is sitting just off to the north, right where you see the purples and pinks there, right near Klondike and Montmorency. Could have some quarter-size hail falling there along in south of 52 between State Road 26 and US 52. Could have some small hail falling up to quarter size in diameter, which is severe criteria. This storm is solely in Tippecanoe County on the northwest side of Lafayette. Tornado possible, as well as 60 mile per hour winds and quarter-sized hail, all possible here within this storm. Here comes the next radar scan there. You can see the core now moving over US 52. Still some broad rotation hanging on within this storm. Area of rotation going to go just on the north side of downtown Lafayette. Going to come near the Apple Ridge area, Klondike, as well as Purdue University. It is broad in nature, but still be on alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can form quickly from severe thunderstorms. So do keep an eye on that. If you spot a funnel cloud, go at once into an interior room away from windows until that storm has passed. Yeah, the hail core might be just on the north side of Klondike. It's coming really close, depending on where you're at. It's a really small core, so your neighbor could see some small hail and you may not see any hail. That's how small this hail core is associated with this storm. It's not very large at all. But torrential rainfall is definitely occurring within the core, so watch out for some puddles. The air is very thick out there today. Dew points are in the upper 60s, mid to upper 60s across this portion of Indiana. So it's humid out there today. Severe thunderstorm remains here for 15 more minutes for the warning. Tornado possible, quarter-size hail, as well as 60-mile-per-hour winds. You can see the hook echo here on radar, how it's kind of that C shape right in there with the area of rotation sitting just to the northwest side of the airport, moving east-northeast at 20 to 25 miles per hour. So not a fast mover. This storm is not moving very fast at all. But there is some broad rotation still being displayed there on radar, where you see the reds and greens kind of not really holding hands super tight, but you can see they're together kind of right in here, right near the Apple Ridge area. Will kind of be where that area of broad rotation is, and it is quite broad in nature, but still worth keeping an eye on in case this storm were to intensify. Hopefully, it does not. But we will have to keep an eye on that here over the next 15 minutes or so until this warning expires. Trying to get one of the NDOT cameras to work video-wise in Lafayette, but none of them are wanting to play. I guess that's not surprising, I guess, but hopefully I can get one pulled up here for you and give you a live shot of what it looks like here in Lafayette, but none of them are wanting to play. There's the next scan here. Moving into the north side of Lafayette here. Heavy rain, a few lightning strikes, some small hail up to quarter size in diameter. So a few larger stones could be mixing down with that broad area of rotation still remaining within this storm. There's the latest velocity scan there. If I zoom in, just north of the airport there, near the Apple Ridge area. That's kind of where the area of broad rotation is currently sitting right in here, right on top of Apple Ridge. I'm going to go north of Discovery Park District and going to skirt the northwest side of town. Currently, it's on the north side of the river. It could cross the river near Indian Village for this area of rotation. It is broad in nature, but it is still there. Tornado possible tag still remains within our severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible, quarter-size hail, and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is moving east-northeast at 20 miles per hour. And the NDOT cameras are still not working. Shocker. This storm is currently right along our warm front, and that's what's allowing it to spin just a little bit. Warm fronts can enhance spin at the low levels of the atmosphere, so that's something we're going to have to keep an eye on. Widespread severe weather, though, is not expected here tonight. Though it is worth keeping an eye on, as you could have an occasional storm try to produce some broad rotation. But this one is certainly doing that. Currently not strong enough, though, to really make me think that a tornado is imminent at this point in time, but it is worth keeping an eye on as the storm is moving off to the east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. You can see the core of this storm where all the areas are in pink, kind of currently north of the Wabash River. but the storm is expected to cross near the Battleground area as well as Indian Village. Area broad rotation near the Apple Ridge area in Tippecanoe County. This is moving northeast at about 20 miles per hour. Some broad rotation still being observed on radar, though it does not look like a tornado is imminent, but that rotation is still there, so it is worth keeping an eye on over the next few minutes or so. Hopefully, we don't see the rotation intensify, but it's there just enough to where the National Weather Service in Indianapolis has decided to put a tornado possible tag on it, as we do have that broad area of rotation being shown there. There's the next scan there. You can see the storm slowly chugging along towards the Battleground area. Broad rotation, still hanging on due west of downtown. Nothing that really signifies an imminent tornado at this point in time, which is good. Hopefully we don't see that. There's the next scan there. Slowly moving, but that area of broad rotation still there, northwest side of downtown. Near the Apple Ridge area, coming pretty close to the Purdue Research Park. So coming pretty close to Purdue University there for that broad area of rotation. There is a little bit of a base on it. Per our chaser in the field, maybe perhaps a little bit of a wall cloud. They're on the northwest side of town. I don't have him up on the screen currently. He's behind the scenes, but he's sending me updates here as he is looking at the base of this storm. So maybe a little bit of a wall cloud, kind of hard to tell. But either way, the rotation is still quite broad on radar, but it is still there. So it's worth keeping an eye on. Hopefully, it does not intensify. Yeah, we have a couple chasers out in the field, Duke. They're out here watching this. One of our chasers is from Lafayette, so he is watching this storm. He's going to try to reposition to get a little bit of a better view to see what it is looking like. Zooming out, this is our only severe thunderstorm warning in the state of Indiana. 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible. Does go for another 8 minutes here. Not moving very fast at all. Not like the storms that we've seen in the past. Area of rotation sitting right in here. You can see a little bit of a hook echo right where that clear slot is, just north of the 52 emblem, north of the airport, is where this rotation currently resides. And this is moving east at about 20 miles per hour. Rotation sitting right in here, just north of the Discovery Park District, near the Purdue Research Park, moving near Indian Village, moving east-northeast at about 20 miles per hour. So moving very, very slowly. Severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible, quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, and this storm is moving east at 20 to 25 miles per hour. A little bit, you can still see the hook echo here on radar, right in here, with the area of rotation sitting right in there. Near the Purdue Research, between Purdue Research Park and Purdue University Discovery Center, or Discovery Park District as well. So right over the Purdue campus there is kind of where this area of rotation is. There you can see it move, tightening up just a little bit. Right in here, crossing State Road, I believe. Yeah, right on the expressway here, right on Sagamore Parkway. Area of rotation just north of the Campen Golf Course in West Lafayette. Crossing the highway here, the parkway, the expressway here on the west side of town. It's going to come near the Indian Village area on the north side of West Lafayette. sitting right in here near Happy Hollow Heights as well. So rotation did tighten up just a little bit in the last couple of scans here. You can see that new hook echo developing here on the south side. It is taking a right turn as it is becoming a little bit more surface based here. It is attaching to that warm front as it continues to move off to the east at about 20 miles per hour. Rotation is getting a little bit tighter now, and we do have a new tornado warning. So we have a tornado warning now in the state of Indiana. This is for a shower near the Fowler area. Radar indicated tornado warning. And this is for Benton County, northwestern Indiana at 5:39 p.m. Eastern. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Boswell or near Fowler, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hazard tornado. Radar indicated rotation. No hail associated with this. This is more of a rotating shower versus the thunderstorm. Very little lightning within this storm. But you can see the area of rotation. It's actually so small. It's actually really hard for the radar to really see it. You can see this kind of S feature on your screen, area of rotation sitting due west of Oxford, moving off to the east-northeast, right near the Fowler area, right where those reds and greens are holding hands, right in here. So we have two warnings here in the state of Indiana, a radar indicated tornado warning, as well as a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible. Here's the next scan. Broad rotation, still hanging out north side of West Lafayette, and also kind of really hard to see this area of rotation. We also have a really bad radar gap here. We're kind of in between radars here in Indiana, but tornado warning for the Fowler area, and this is for Benton County, northwestern Indiana. 5:39 p.m. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado is located near Boswell, near Fowler, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Hazard tornado, radar indicated rotation. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Tree damage is likely. This is radar indicated. No hail associated with this, but there is a little bit of rotation due west of Oxford, just strong enough to where the National Weather Service has decided to issue a tornado warning on that cell. We could have a brief spin-up tornado occurring anytime within that cell. Rotation is tight enough. Again, I don't think long-lived tornadoes are really going to be a thing here today, but brief spin-up tornadoes where you see these low-top showers tighten up to maybe produce a brief funnel or a brief touchdown before lifting back up. That's kind of the environment that we have here today. So these brief spin-ups are something that we're going to have to watch here today. So two warnings currently going back to our Lafayette cell here. Area of broad rotation near the Indian Village area now, sitting right in here, just south of the Indian Village, likely a little bit further south, near the Wabash River. Getting ready to cross towards the I-65 area. Heavy rain near the battleground area, and this storm is moving more left to right, moving east, still at about 20 miles per hour. There you can see the new severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail. So they reissued the same warning a little bit further downstream. This is now including Carroll County, north central Indiana, as well as northeast Tippecanoe County until 6:30. At 5:42 p.m., severe thunderstorm was located near West Lafayette, moving east at 20 miles per hour. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or a small central room in a sturdy structure. Put as many layers between you and the outside as possible in a sturdy, well-built structure. Mobile homes or campers are not a good place to ride out a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning or a tornado in general. try to find a sturdy, well-built structure. Here's the next scan here on our Fowler cell here. See the area of rotation sitting kind of right in here. Now this is, I think, poorly represented here just because we're in between radars. So this is not represented the best here. There's the next scan. The rotation may be kind of in between the gap here, but we're elevated here in our radar beam. So we really are in a radar gap here. If I switch to Chicago, Illinois radar, you can see that a little bit better. I think Chicago sees it a little bit better. Due west of Oxford, kind of right in here. On the base of this shower here, just due west of Oxford, a little bit of broad rotation right in here. This is just south of US 52. Just on the northwest side of Oxford. And this storm here is also moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. So a little bit faster, but not significantly faster. Going back to our Lafayette Hill cell here in Tippecanoe County. Broad rotation. Now this rotation has broadened out quite a bit in the latest scans, which is good. Broad rotation over the Wabash River near Indian Village here. This is going to move near the Delp area, Buck Creek, south of Battleground for that broad area of rotation. Just south of the Prophetstown State Park. Prophetstown State Park getting some heavy rain right now, maybe some small hail, but the area of rotation is just off to your south, crossing the Wabash River right now, likely just on the other side of the river, on the northeast side of Lafayette near I-65. This is going to come right along State Road 25. And I have a nice view looking north from I-65. I'll go ahead and pull this up here for you to take a look at. Now it is reloading here once again. Let me see if I can get that loaded back up here for you. There you go. See a little bit of a base here on the left side of your screen, but nothing that really signals a tornado is imminent by any means. But you can see a little bit of a lowering there and some heavy rain off to the north. Little bird flying there. So this is kind of a view of what the storm looks like here, looking on the south side of it. Maybe a little bit of a lowering there, but nothing really too definitive associated with that. I don't know if that's a wall cloud or just the base of the storm, kind of undefined at the moment, but it is something to keep an eye on. Going back to our tornado warning, I'll go ahead and switch radars again. I think Chicago just slightly has a better look at this, but keep in mind our radar beam here is elevated, so it is hard to really get a good idea about what is going on at the surface. But you can see that area of rotation just to the northwest side of Oxford coming up on US 52. Kind of sitting right in here a little bit. Kind of a messy system here. Kind of have a couple different storms here. Maybe a nudger getting in there that could also help getting that broad rotation in there as well. Going back to the Indianapolis radar here to look at our Lafayette storm. Area of rotation coming up on I-65 and State Road 25. This is just south of Prophetstown State Park, moving east at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warning continues for quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds, as well as a tornado possible. Currently, nothing that really signifies an imminent tornado by any means. But some broad rotation is still there and is present. We do have a storm chaser on this storm. He's repositioning now. He says he doesn't see anything too impressive at the moment, but he is keeping an eye on this as well. So going back to our INDOT camera here, this is looking due north on I-65 here. You can see a little bit of a lowering here, perhaps. Could be an elevated wall cloud, but really undefined at this point in time, more or less just the base of the storm. You can see some scud rising there on the right side there over the highway. So this would kind of be the area to watch, perhaps, for any rotation that would develop in the low levels. But right now, I don't see anything too significant on radar, which is good. Hopefully that continues. Hopefully we don't see this storm intensify. We never want to see a storm intensify by any means. But that broad rotation does still exist on radar within this storm as it moves east-northeast at about 25 miles per hour. So you can see that cloud base there just over the highway. Could be a possible wall cloud. Kind of hard to tell. Have some scud there on the right-hand side, I believe, going up into the storm as well. But that could be a possible wall cloud there on the south side. You can see that they're moving over I-65, and this will be near the interchange there south of Prophetstown State Park, moving east at about 25 miles per hour. But there's a good chance that is your wall cloud there. Kind of an elevated wall cloud, not super low to the ground, which is good. But there's a good chance that is your wall cloud. Yeah, you're welcome, Maria. Happy to do this for you. Currently, this is a live view of the Lafayette cell as it crosses I-65. A little bit of a lowering there, perhaps just the cloud base or perhaps a broad wall cloud there, but nothing that screams an imminent tornado by any means. Going back to radar here, you can see that area of rotation crossing I-65. So our INDOT camera is right in here and looking up in this area as well. So that is possibly your brief wall cloud or broad wall cloud that we're looking at there. Kind of ill-defined, nothing that really screams an imminent tornado on that storm, which is good. Hopefully it stays that way. We don't want to see it intensify. We also have a tornado warning continuing. Area of rotation on the north side of Oxford, moving towards US 52, getting right across 52 northwest of Lafayette. This is radar indicated rotation here. And no hail associated with this, but we do have that area of rotation a little bit tighter than what we see in Lafayette. You can actually see the reds and greens holding hands near Atkinson there, just north of Oxford, State Road 55, northwest of Templeton. You can see that couplet right there on your screen. So this is radar indicated rotation associated with this. There's the latest scan. You can actually see your hook echo right in here on the north side of Oxford as well, crossing 52. I don't have a camera on that cell, unfortunately. But you can see the latest scan there. Indianapolis appears to still be on rapid scans, which is good. Keeping an eye on this storm here as it moves over US 52. Just on the north side of Oxford, you can see that hook echo right in there. Kind of a shallow hook with that area of rotation crossing State Road 55 near Atkinson. This is southeast of Fowler, moving northeast at about 30 to 35 miles per hour. Going back to our Lafayette storm, rotation broadening out quite a bit. But you can see a little bit of a gust front now near Americus and Buck Creek. So there could be some gusty winds associated within this right in there. But the good news is the area of rotation is broadening out just a little bit, which is some good news there. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in Illinois that butts up to the Indiana-Illinois border. I think northern Vermilion County, not included, but it is close. Just quarter-size hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds in this area here. Strongest area of rotation near the Oxford area, getting ready to cross US 52. This is radar indicated. And this is for southeastern Benton County in northwest Indiana. You can see the area of rotation right in here. Kind of hard to pick out, but you see where those reds and greens are kind of holding hands. I kind of drew that circle a little small. Let me draw it a little bigger for you just to kind of show you. Right in there, right where you see the couplet there, where you see the red and green right next to each other. That is the area where you have the tightest area of rotation. It is small, but this is the area which has prompted the tornado warning, meaning that a brief spin-up tornado could occur at any time. So do take this seriously. Go to an interior room away from windows until this storm has passed. Let me get this pulled up here. I'm working on a couple things here behind the scenes, so bear with me. But you can see the area of rotation sitting right in there. Going back to our Lafayette storm, area of broad rotation, perhaps sitting right in here, just north of the interchange there a little bit. Trying to get in-dot cameras to load. They never load. It's kind of annoying. Trying to get it pulled back up here to get an updated view on this storm. But the area of kind of broad rotation coming near the Buck Creek area, near the Delp area, kind of where that is. But this storm looks elevated in nature based on the reports I'm seeing here behind the scenes. But it's also weakening as well. So that's good news as it helps as it moves towards the Flora and Delphi area. Moving back here towards the Oxford area, broad area of rotation near the Oxford area crossing US 52. Latest scans have broadened out quite a bit, which is good news. If I go ahead and switch back to KLOT's radar, they get a little bit of a better view of it. Not a lot there, nothing like we saw a few minutes ago, which is good. But keep in mind, it could be shallow in nature. Perhaps maybe sitting right in here, perhaps. Kind of hard to see, but the radar beam is high here. We have a radar gap in this portion of Indiana, meaning the radar beam could be overshooting our area of rotation, not giving us the best view of this storm. Having some radar feed issues here on my radar product here behind the scenes. We have GR2 pulled up here behind the scenes, but having a feed issue on it, so bear with me. Trying to see if that is going to show any other data on these storms. But data is only good if data is given. So, area of rotation, just sitting on the northwest side of Oxford, kind of right in here. I have it a little bit better on the radar here behind the scenes, but this is kind of where that area of rotation is currently. And it looks like that tornado warning has been dropped, which is good. Still maybe a little bit of spin there, but not a lot. But it looks like we are down to a severe thunderstorm warning at this point in time. Tornado possible does go for another 33 minutes. But this storm is also appears to be weakening, which is some good news. Hopefully we see these warnings expire. But currently, these storms are broadening out quite a bit. I don't see any imminent tornado here. So we're probably going to go ahead and probably end our stream here. Wanted to hop on and mainly give you guys a radar update here, but we did have those storms exhibiting some broad rotation near the Lafayette area and then Fowler area, prompted a tornado warning here a little bit ago. That has since expired, but that's really going to be the name of the game here tonight. These short-lived storms that could have some broad rotation, perhaps. Main hazards here tonight: damaging winds, heavy rain, small hail up to quarter size. We're not looking at any significant hail tonight, or a spin up tornado, or even a land spout can't be ruled out along the warm front itself. Currently looking at where the warm front is draped from Peoria, Illinois, Logansport, Marion, and off to the west. These storms are on that warm front, riding it north. We do expect to see some additional showers and storms developing here overnight tonight. We also have a flood watch across northern Indiana issued by the National Weather Service in northern Indiana. 2 to 4 inches of rain have fallen over the past few days, and we could have some additional heavy rainfall overnight tonight as well. So probably going to go ahead and end our stream here now that the worst of these storms is over for now, at least on the storms that are currently warned. This storm here near the Delphi area does appear to be just below severe criteria at this point in time. Hopefully these weakening trends here continue. A warning does still exist on it, but it does, based on reports I'm seeing, it looks to be just below severe criteria. So with that being said, going to keep monitoring things here behind the scenes, but we're going to hop off here and come back on if necessary. Before we end, though, I do want to give a shout out to Rutgers Rutgers Tree Service in Indianapolis. They're sponsoring our stream here today. We can reach out to them if you have any trees that are concerned before the next storm hits. Trees can cause quite a bit of damage to roof siding trees and actually can be deadly in severe weather. So give them a call, 317-665-3969, if you need any trees taken care of before the next storm hits. With that being said, we'll continue to watch radar here behind the scenes and give updates as needed. But for now, the areas of rotation that were of concern have since really kind of broadened out and no longer appear to be an immediate risk. We will continue watching this behind the scenes.